Hi there, this is your Anurashri, your career communication coach. Have you been in a situation wherein you met a person for the first time, but you said something that should have been inappropriate? You felt that tension, that awkwardness? Hi there, this is your Anurashri, your career communication coach. Have you been in a situation wherein you met a person for the first time, but you said something that should have been inappropriate? You felt that tension, that awkwardness? I mean, when you meet a new person, you don't have a lot of time to make a good first impression, do you? Well, in this video, I'm going to give you six things that you should never use in your first time conversation. Well, over here, we are going to discuss a very friendly, relaxed conversation. I see some people when they meet a person for the very first time, they either answer in a very awkward way or sometimes they may ask a question which the listener find difficult to answer. This kind of situations happen at schools, colleges, their neighborhoods, or also at workplace. So let's get started. Number one, when someone asks you, how is your new job? Do you enjoy your work? For the first time, when they ask this question, I have heard people saying that, oh, it's so boring. I cannot withstand with this kind of people. Or they also say that I can't work with this kind of people. I would say avoid using this negative sentences or negative thoughts when you start talking to a person for the first time. Because here, it doesn't show something negative about the work. It shows about your thoughts. It shows about your negative thoughts about that work. Let me tell you how you can answer to this question. Some people also tell me, to be honest, Anu, I feel this job is very boring. It's not my cup of tea. They put a phrase called to be honest. I really appreciate. But look at the listeners or how do they think about you? Let me tell you how you can say it in another way so that you can build a better rapport without having a negative thought. You can say like this in a positive way. There are some aspects of my job that I really enjoy, but I have to admit there are some difficulties to work with a colleague or to understand my boss. So here it shows how you have taken this job. There is no any kind of a negativity, but you are pretty honest in saying that you enjoy the job. A few colleagues or with some boss, you have some issue. So this builds up how people get impressed by you. Being honest, I really appreciate. No matter whether you like it or you don't like it. But when you talk to a person for the very first time, your answer should be very positive so that they can get connected with you. Number two, how much of money do you make? How much rent do you pay? This question doesn't sound good when you are meeting a person for the first time. People would be quite taken back by these questions. For some, it's okay, but not in all the cases. If you really want to know about this, you can ask them in a very indirect question or very in a tactful way. Like, would you mind if I ask you, how much rent do you pay? Number three, you are nicer than I thought would be. This is how some people start a conversation. So you might think that it's a kind of compliment, or maybe you have seen them before, and now when you meet them, when you give this compliment, it says that or it shows that they were quite mean or something opposite. I've also heard people starting a conversation like, you are prettier than what I thought. So it's a kind of suggestion that they were looking ugly. Just imagine when you are meeting a person for the first time, and when you open a conversation with this, for you it can be a compliment, but the person with whom you are conversating, it might lead to them that they were looking ugly before, or probably, or they might be a mean person. If you want to give them a compliment, keep it simple and say it straight. You are lovely. Number 4, Anu is really lazy. I mean, it applies to any negative comment about your colleague, your boss, or your friends, or any other person at workplace. When you meet someone for the first time, you might point out your friends or colleagues or other people at workplace and share some information about these people. But as I mentioned before, when you start giving some negative comments on someone, it doesn't sound good. It just reflects you. You sound to be not nicer in this conversation. Rather saying Anu is really lazy, you can rather say this way, like, we are all quite hard workers, but some work a bit hard than others. Notice I never mentioned any specific person. Number 5, you look tired. You look fat today. Do you have children? Are you married? Do not ask this kind of questions when you are meeting a new person for the first time. So, when you say you look fat today, it's an inappropriate way to talk about their appearance. Try to not to hurt their feelings. And when you ask, do you have children? Some may say yes, some men, if they don't have children, they find uncomfortable to go ahead with your conversation. So try to avoid even in these questions. Like, rather, if you are very curious about to know about their children, or whether they have a kids, or whether they're married, there are other ways to ask. As I told you before, may I know, are you married? So first of all, when you're meeting for the first time, in what this question going to benefit you? Check on that. Try to avoid certain questions when you are meeting for the first time. Try to have a good first impression. So these questions might sound awkward. It makes another person uncomfortable, or it might hurt their personal feelings. So you might ask me, how do I say you look tired? So rather, when you want to give the compliment to others, first to compliment yourself by saying, today I'm looking so tired because I never had a sleep last night. How about you? Um, then they can open up their ideas like, yeah, even I'm feeling so tired last night, I couldn't sleep. Then you'll get some idea. And then you can tell them, oh, that's the reason you're looking so tired. This will help your conversation to move forward. Number 6, how old are you? Do not ask this question in your very first meet with a new person. If you want to really know about their age, you can ask them in a indirectly, because no one likes to talk about their ages. Probably in some countries it's okay, fine for some reason, but generally people don't like to start or discuss about their age in the very first conversation. At least not there. Maybe down the line when you start developing your relationship, then you can go ahead and talk. Not in the very first go. So you can, or if you want to know, you can be more polite, as I told you. Would you mind if I ask you how old are you? This sounds to be quite polite. And also, they have a space to choose to say nothing. I hope you enjoyed this lesson and got some idea how to start a conversation with a new person for the first time. And also, you would have had an idea what to use and what not to use and how to speak. If you feel this information was informative, do share it with your families and friends. And Do not forget to subscribe my channel and press the notification bell so that you will get a notification as and when I post the videos. Until then, it's your Anurag Shri, your career communication coach, signing off. Thank you. God bless you.